Shabbat shalom. That's it. Okay, great. One, two, one, two, three, four. Shabbat shalom.
Shalom. What a way to start. I just want to take a moment for everybody just to soak this in. Stand up for a minute and look around. This is our entire community. Soak it in. Take a deep breath from the hectic, hectic week. Now Shabbat's coming. You can sit down.
candles and soak in this moment, as Ellen has said, as we welcome our Shabbos Queen. Please help me. So good evening and welcome, everyone. I think this is definitely history-making for Federation Shabbat and our community. I am Carol Marcus State, Board Chair of the Jewish Federation of Delaware, and standing with me is my friend and wonderful partner in crime, Seth Katzen, Federation President and CEO. Tonight is a culmination of months of planning and preparation with many people to thank. Calm down, we're not going to call everybody. But we do want to give a special shout out to the Siegel JCC for hosting us this evening. And while maybe you have noticed, or not, if you look at the floor, you will notice it's not quite finished yet. But they were able to get this done so that we could have our Shabbat here in the auditorium. I want to thank Derech, our Delaware Rabbis and Cantors Association, all of our beneficiary agencies and synagogue leadership who are with us this Shabbat, and all of you for being here to stand in solidarity with Israel and against anti-Semitism and hatred of all kinds. Oh, thank you. What would I do without him? So I have two separate speeches because I didn't get to go home and combine. So for those of you wearing the paper kippot that you might have thought, oh gosh, that's a strange kippah that they're giving away with our 302 insignia on it. Those are actually special kippot that when you are ready to, at your own pace, plant in your garden to plant the seeds of faith. So they are actually biodegradable, seeded paper. You don't have to plant them. You can keep them forever. But if you so choose, we invite you to plant them in your gardens and watch them grow.
Thanks, Carol. I would like to thank the following families who generously helped make tonight possible. The Blumenfeld family, the Grant family, the Markel family, and the Pincus family. Thank you to Deluxe Catering for the Yoneg Shabbat that is being generously underwritten by the State family. I also want to acknowledge the Federation staff who have worked tirelessly to ensure a meaningful Federation Shabbat. Rabbi Ellen Bernhardt, who organized the inclusive service, Nicole Terranova, Enoch Gelman, and Rachel Garofalo for managing the myriad logistics for tonight. Special thanks to Ina, who also put together the program that you have in your hands. And to Neshama, her band, her sons, and Rabbi Creditor, you have become part of our Delaware family. Thank you for being with us tonight.
The world changed on October 7th, 2023, when Hamas attacked the Nova Music Festival in Israel, as well as several settlements near Gaza, savagely murdering 1,200 innocent people, raping and injuring thousands more. Hamas kidnapped Holocaust survivors, the elderly. They took mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, soldiers They took our most vulnerable, our children and our babies. Today marks the 139th day for the hostages still in captivity. We continue to pray for their release and will not stop until we, and say it with me, we bring them home now. Sorry. On October 11th, just 4 days later, I got so excited. October 11th, just 4 days later, our community came together for the We Stand with Israel Solidarity Rally. More than 500 Delawareans were in attendance, representing all faiths as well as our state and local elected officials. And by October 16th, the Federation launched the Israel Emergency Fund and the Israel Community Coalition, comprised of our agencies and Delaware synagogues. We united, and this was unprecedented, we united in one cohesive effort to raise the critical funds needed to support Israel and in her most darkest days. To date, under the leadership of Ned and Meredith Weinberger and Jerry Heisler, our Israel Emergency Fund co-chairs, we have raised $1 million. That, coupled with our 2023 annual campaign, you, all of you, our generous community, have raised $3 million. Quite an accomplishment during these challenging times. So please give yourselves another.
A reminder that this Sunday is Super Sunday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. It is Federation's largest single day of raising critical funds for the 2024 annual campaign. Whether you volunteer to make the call or generously take the call, thank you for your support. Tonight is about unity and our collective response to face adversity and rising anti-Semitism head on. By standing as one unified community, we grow stronger together. Shabbat Shalom.
Please rise for the singing of the national anthem. Please face the Israeli flag for the singing of Hatikva. It's on page 9 of your booklet. Kol od baleva panima nefesh Yehudi Oliyah Umatei Mizrach Kadima Ayin Please be seated, and it's my honor to welcome Neshama Karbach and her band.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
You feel Shabbos? Feel it in your fingertips, in your hair. It's true. If you believe it, it's true. When you let it in, it's real. Tov lehodod l'Adonai, v'zamer l'shimcha elyon. It's really, really good to say thank you to God, to say thank you to the whole universe for all of our gifts, for all that we have, for all that we long for the dreams that we know are just so close, as yet unrealized, but coming so close, also in our hair, in the air, in the wind. It's good to say thank you. L'hagid b'boker chastecha ve'emunatcha b'leilot. We say, thank you, God, for your chesed, for your kindness in the day. And then we say, thank you for your belief at night. But we learn, and this is one of my most favorite little words of Torah, we're not singing at that moment because we believe in God at night when it's cold, when we remember all the reasons why we cry. In those moments, we remember that God is believing in us in those moments. And she is. I believe it. Do you believe it? We just forget sometimes that the whole world, the whole universe, every energy of the world is holding us up when we fall, giving us just that little bit of extra strength to stand up again. So that's what this song is all about. And for me, that's Shabbos. When I don't remember to believe, it's this moment. I'm going to take this with me. So please sing it loud. That's right.
just learned from Reb Neshama Karlbach, Tov lehodot, it is good to give thanks in the morning for God's chesed, and to hold in, to bring in the emunah, the faith. And at the end of the psalm, we sing Tzaddik Katamar Yifrach. We affirm the faith that righteousness, that the good will flourish, even when it's not always supported, even when the good thing is hard to do. Yet, we still believe that it will grow strong like the palm tree. Join with me. Tzaddik Katamar Yifrach Ke'erez Bavanom Yizkar Shetulim Bevet Adonai Bechatzrot Eloheinu Yafrichu Od Yenuvu B'Seba Deshenim V'Ra'ananim Yiyu Lehagin Ki Yashar Adonai Tzuri Elo Avlatabo.
I was thinking about with Baruch Hu. We have cell phones and we always know who's calling now, who's on the other end, but do you remember before caller ID and whatever, when you didn't know? When you had to answer the call and you didn't know. You had to be prepared. You had to just take it as it comes to see where it takes you. There is a piece of that mystery that I love and I miss. And it's real. This idea of being open to whatever will be. I don't know. We'll see. We'll let it take us as it goes. And so with this Baruch Hu, this call to prayer, I invite you to be open to the mystery, to see what it'll be. D minor, C, B flat, A.
And east is that way. And also, while we're facing there, I want to give a big, huge thanks and gratitude to our amazing team drummer from Beth Shalom, Jeff Schultz.
now to page 23, and we invite the agency executives who run this wonderful community. Please come forward. We have Rachel Blumenfeld, Albert Einstein Academy, Donna Schwartz, University of Delaware Hillel. Ralph, did you meet her? Did you meet her? Oh, Donna, Ralph. Make sure you talk at the Oneg. Siegel JCC, Ivy Hartlev, Jewish Family Services, Rena Von Oot, and Kutz Senior Living Campus, Felicia Alderson. Please come forward. Lead us in the English on page 23.
We can all read together. We could read together. Come on. She can't. She doesn't have a glass. This is really amazing. To stand up here and see this auditorium full with all of you and to be spending Shabbat with you is just fills my heart with joy. So I hope you'll join in with us. With everlasting love, you have loved your people, Israel. You have taught us the Torah and its mitzvot. You have instructed us in its laws and judgments. Therefore, O Lord our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we shall speak of your commandments and rejoice in your Torah and mitzvot, for they are the life and the length of our days. On them we will meditate day and night. May you never take away your love from us. Praised are you, O Lord, who loves your people Israel.
Thank you for all you do for our community. And Neshama's partner, we're so honored to have you with us, Rabbi Menachem Creditor. Please come forward. Kavanah before the Shema.
Good Shabbos, everyone. So the Shema is the one line that if you know one line, it's the one. But why? Why? No one really knows what it means. There are an infinite number of translations available. You and I could recite maybe the one that we heard most often if we were a shul goer in childhood. But I want to talk about what it means, not what it literally translates to, because you might know legends that are true, historic moments where the Shema served as the saving line of our people. We said it as we died, and we say it as we live. We speak of it when we walk, when we lie down, and in the end, we hope to be able to say it with some kind of grace or have someone say it with true love for us. In recent moments of history, the Shema has been that again. Share with you a story, not to bring you down, but to give us a reminder that these legends live. For all the pain of these last 140 days, these legends, this power, this love lives. Because in one of the communities in the South, an older gentleman was too scared to leave his house because he had witnessed everything around him. And so he locked himself in his attic. And in fact, some of the terrorists that had come were dressed as Israeli soldiers. And so when Tzahal did come, when the IDF did come, he didn't know who to trust. And they couldn't do anything to convince him to come down. They said, "We're here for you." There was one thing they could do. They sang the Shema to this old man. And if you know that story, you might know this one too, which is just decades ago, when we entrusted our children to non-Jewish orphanages, when we were scared for their lives, saying, "We'll come and claim you when the war is over." What happened often is that the Hebrew aid societies would then send representatives to these orphanages to reclaim our children. And sometimes the orphanages wouldn't identify which ones were ours. And so there was one thing that the Hebrew aid organizations were trained to do by federations, which was to sing the Shema and the children will come. And if you know that story, you might know this one. It's a little bit older. When our patriarch Jacob was on his deathbed, he was afraid because of everything that they had seen back then, that it might not last. God forbid this discovery of what holiness could be in the world would end with him. And so he spoke that fear to his children, and an ancient midrash records them responding, Shema Yisrael. Listen, Israel, because that was his name too. Listen, Dad. We also say, listen, Ima. Listen, our ancestors. In this room, look at the power and presence of this community. Look, ancestors, down at us. Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad, the same Holy One that you called out to so long ago, we call out to today. And when we don't know any other line, this is the line that we know, because this is the line that knows us best. Shema, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
And we turn to Hashkivenu, the prayer for peace, and God knows we need peace. We call upon our synagogue presidents and our agency presidents, our partners in gathering together this wonderful community. Adas Kodesh, Marty Cohn, who could not be here, so Mark Wagman is here, Beth Emmett, Rachel Allen, Beth Shalom, Marla Cooper, Beth Shalom of Dover, Gwen Stobolo, Temple Beth El, Arlene Johnson and Nellie Forwood, and Seaside Larry Crever. Agency presidents, Albert Einstein Academy, Gabe Copen, University of Delaware Hillel, Wendy Goldberg, Siegel JCC, Beth Moscow Schnall, Jewish Family Services of Delaware, Peter Hurd, and Kutz Senior Living Campus, Michelle Glazer. Page 30.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'havidenu malkeinu l'shalim.
As we prepare to sing Freedom's Song, the words of the poet Yehuda Amichai, and what is my lifespan? I'm like a man gone out of Egypt, 2 walls of water to my right and my left, behind me Pharaoh's army, before me the desert, perhaps the promised land too. That is my lifespan. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh nora tehilot osef eleh nora tehilot osef eleh malchut Otecha ra'u vanecha bokei ayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam ze'eli anu ve'yameru Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed Yai-dai, yai-dai-dai-dai, yai-dai-dai-dai-dai-dai, yai-dai-dai-dai-dai, yai-dai-dai-dai-dai, yai-dai-dai-dai-dai. V'nemar ki fad Adonai et Yaakov, ugalo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael, Amen.
ושמרו בני ישראל את
So nice.
Oh,
two very quick things. I promise to be fast. Number one, if you look in the program, Rabbi Julie Danan was supposed to be doing the Chatzi Kaddish, and I just want to represent in some small way that what it means for me to think about Delaware and our Jewish community is not just that Rehoboth is a great place to vacation, but it's a great place to live. And as we turn to the Chatzi Kaddish, and we think about the holiness that maybe we feel in this moment because we've stepped into a different space, I'm stepping into a different space, which is to say that Menachem Creditor the rabbi standing next to me, and I haven't really seen each other in 22 years when we were ordained together. And so when we say the Chatzi Kaddish and draw together as community, I want you to think about how you can do this not just on a Friday night or Federation Shabbat that happens only once a year, but anytime you make the time for it. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah Be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei V'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei techol beit Yisrael Ba'gala ba'gala uv'izmahan kariv v'meru Amen Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach Leolam ulol me'olmaya Yitbarach Yitbarach Vishtabach Vitbar Vitram Vitnaseh Vitadar Vitale Vitalal Shemedu Kudesha Rechu Leila min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Damiran be'alma Bimeru. Amen.
Friends, just before we have a moment of Amidah, moment of prayer that truly is heard between you and the universe, I would invite us to do something even more simple than that, which is in a moment of pause, of intentional taking a minute, to really take seriously the opening sentence, Adonai sfatai tiftach ufi yagid tilatecha. I often chafe at this. God, open my mouth so that I can praise you. Number one, God, you need me that badly? Number two, you don't think I have things to say? But let me self-correct in front of you, which is to say, I actually think God does need us right now. Who feels good being alone? Not even God. And this is a moment where it is very easy to feel alone. Number two, I'm not quite sure what to say some days recently. So I'm asking God, and maybe even if you don't use the word God, you'll reach beyond self to be inspired to actually say something you need, something you believe the world needs, something you want the strength to offer back to a universe in need. The Amidah either begins on page 34 or somewhere that hasn't been written yet. The quiet Amidah.
Shalom Rabbi Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Shalom Rabbi Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Ki Atah house for all people. Gather us in hope for all people. Surround us in peace for all people, in wholeness and in love. Let's try that again. Make of us a house for all people. Gather us in hope for all people. Surround us in peace for all people, in wholeness and in love. Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasid Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasid Le'olam.
Cantor Liz will shortly chant the prayer for healing. So I invite anyone who wants self-healing or has someone that they would like to be healed to rise. And as I point to you, you can say the name if you'd like. And on Zoom as well, I'll start. Shmuel Chaim Ben Leah, Chana Bat Miro. Josh, is that you?
For those named aloud, for those named in our hearts, and for those we do not know who are suffering in silence, I ask that you join me. Many of you, if not all of you, will know it.
So you may have noticed that there are multiple candles. 2 often are lit for Shabbat, an extra one, a Yizkor candle, when we're remembering specific people or groups. And there are also flickering lights, electronic ones, that are meant to bring our attention to those still held in bondage. And as a short kavanah, a short intention, because what we need is not more words, we need them home. For all the clever connections between spiritual ideas that so many of my colleagues and teachers could weave right now, we just want our family home. So this short kavanah, a short intention from this week's Parsha, which is that we learn of the priest's garb, the clothing that they wear, incredibly ornate tunics and jewelry. They carry their people, they carry our people, represented in colorful gems that would light up to indicate the answer to big questions. They carried us on their bodies. In fact, the breastplate, the choshen mishpat, the breastplate, the chestplate of decision-making, they wore on their bodies. We do too. I'm sure I'm not the only one in this room. We carry our families on our chests. For anyone who wonders, are we still here? We're here. Not whole, but we're here. And for all of the tradition that tells us, as was accurately described, what we're not allowed to ask for on Shabbat, pardon me, I'll be the rabbi who says, to hell with those rules. We ask for it now. Because how could it be Shabbos if we don't have our family? So we're about to sing a verse, Ufduye. You can find it on page 41. The Hebrew is Ufduye Adonai Yeshuvun, Uva'u Tzion Berina. May God return the kidnapped. May they come to Jerusalem. May they return home in joy. Page 41.
Shalom,
Shabbos, everyone. It is an unbelievable honor for us to be present with all of you in a spectacular moment in your community. You should understand that the intensity that you feel, we feel. We should all be blessed to be in a room like this. May you be blessed to be in a room like this very soon, coming together with positive things to share and celebration in the air, because everything we're dreaming about will have come true. So I just wanted to share, I would say a brief thought, but I'm a rabbi. So I'll try. And there are ups and downs to these thoughts, just as there are ups and downs to all of these moments. You're all paying attention, you're all here. And so the gorgeous up and down emotionality of what prayer really is meant to be, it's not meant to be only one place in your heart. It helps us when we're down, and it sometimes reminds us what we need to focus on, which isn't always happy. The prayer for healing tells us that there's illness. The prayer that is in many traditional Siddurim prayer books for the release of Jewish hostages tells you that this is a moment we have seen before for all of the complexity of Jewish history. So what I want to share as a brief reflection is, first of all, culled from experiences having been in Israel twice with the Federation system since October 7th. Not that the world stayed the same even between those visits nor since the more recent one, but also recognizing that this is a moment where there are some powerful and powerfully good things happening. They just aren't at the forefront of our minds because trauma lives right here. And it makes it hard to focus on anything beyond the reaction that we're having in this moment to this moment. But if you know enough history, you know that our ancestors could never have dreamt of the situation that causes us such distress, by which I mean good and bad. Imagine, as Rabbi David Wolpe did recently. If you haven't seen the video of his short talk just after going to the BBYO International Convention, just 2 weeks ago, he imagines having a conversation with his ancestors saying, "Can you believe the state of Israel is under attack?" And his ancestor says, "There's a state of Israel? And can you believe that Congress is threatening to reduce the billions of dollars that it is supporting Israel with? Wait, there's a state of Israel and the United States is supporting it with billions of dollars?" Now, these things are fragile. I don't mean to make them punchlines, but a historical perspective tells us that while this moment is singular in Israel's history and singular in Jewish history, we are prepared for it, as unprepared as we feel. But you're a self-select group of people who show up as leaders in your community. I want to tell you a little bit about what I saw. But everything that I'm about to describe is only possible, the positive parts, because we are already doing this work. I'm assuming some of you have been part of Federation missions to Israel, which I gotta tell you, back when I was a kid and when I was a rabbi's kid and also when I was a pulpit rabbi in Boston, then Berkeley, California, I just didn't know. I wasn't sure about all the claims being made by the Federation system. That kind of evaporated when I was on the border of Poland and Ukraine and I saw Federation doing the work that it had already seeded the plans for decades before. So what I'm about to describe is only possible. In fact, the state of Israel is only possible because of the collective efforts of the Jewish world focused by our organizational structures. We're suspicious of authority these days, but sometimes there really are good places where you can trust, to be led, to be stewarded, imperfectly, clumsily at best. We're just human. But when I was with a group of interdenominational rabbis in Israel 2 weeks after October 7th, which no one was prepared for, no matter how much work we've already been doing, and we stood in the south, but not all the way south, We stood near the Dead Sea, where so many of the kibbutzim have been relocated to hotels, entire survivor communities, which is actually the right language to use again. Relocated to the south thanks to the pop-up support of the community center movement in Israel, which receives significant funding from the American Federation world. I know I'm a walking brochure, but trust me when I say I was suspicious until I witnessed. I didn't understand what it meant to show up until I was part of a system that had always been showing up, behind the scenes often. So this group of rabbis went to the south and we saw a group of displaced survivors, including their children, who were in a pop-up children's camp with, one of those floppy balloons like you see in front of car dealerships. And wafting in the air was this very loud song by Omer Adam, one of my favorite Israeli artists, a song Modeh Ani. It's a prayer we say in the morning for gratitude, but it's a great new rock anthem in Israel. You want to know what the new prayer book looks like, just turn on, well, there's no radio anymore. Stream some Israeli music wherever you are. That's actually our prayer life. I'm watching these kids play, survivor kids play, with Modeh Ani blasting in the air. And here we are as rabbis. And I realize I'm the rabbi of the trip, in addition to being a rabbi on the trip. So I said, it's time to pray. So I looked at the group, and I'm looking at these sweet colleagues in front of me because it's like Muvan Me'elav. You already know that this is possible, but so many parts of the Jewish world don't. So I said, no matter which one of us I ask to lead, some of us won't have their spiritual commitments fulfilled. So let's be more forgiving than we've ever been and make a commitment to stay in this group and to say amen when someone makes a blessing. And it wasn't hard. It was emphatically said, but it wasn't hard. We all did. And then these two older women who had just been swimming walked by in towels, and they looked at our group. For them, the strange thing wasn't this pop-up children's camp. It was a group of different-looking rabbis praying. And so you might know there's a rule. You're only allowed to interrupt your prayers, specifically the Shema, when someone to whom you owe respect shows up. Who more than a survivor do we owe our respect to? So I interrupted and walked away from the group, and it was my privilege to say to these two people, Nachnu Kvutza Shel Rabbanim America, we are a group of rabbis from the United States, Banu Bishvil Tmicha, we came to show support. And they burst into tears. And stories like that have been happening all over Israel because for the first time in a long time, our sisters and brothers remember how much we love them. And we shouldn't let ourselves off the hook so quickly. For the first time in a long time, we remember how much we love them too. What happens there is here. Our children, and we have 2 kids on campus, are experiencing things I didn't prepare them for because I didn't have to experience them. I went through this bubble in history where what happened then, I was in Boston for a long time, in Dorchester, in Mattapan, Roxbury, the old country in Boston. What happened in those communities I heard about from the older members of my shul, from my grandparents. I didn't imagine that they were true, and so even though so much of what I'm talking about is right now, it also was then. And so the question is, am I now listening to the wisdom of my ancestors trying to make a path forward? So let me give you one vignette that encapsulates the whole thing. One vignette, which is, there's a wonderful teacher, author, survivor of the Shoah named Rena Quint. You might have met her. She is very well known, incredibly energetic. I wish I could keep up with her. And she was talking to our group that morning. We were there for 52 hours. She was talking to us hours before we left, and it feels like only minutes after we got there. And she was talking to us about the new survivors. She, a Shoah survivor, talked about the new survivors of Kibbutz Be'eri, Kibbutz Kfar Aza. And then she started speaking about hostages and described Hirsch Goldberg Poland without knowing his name. She described his injuries, which many of us probably know. What she didn't know is that the next people who were going to walk into the room were Rachel and Jonathan, Hirsch's parents, who have literally been everywhere. Everywhere. You want to see models of parental love and of incredible human cost of what that love looks like. And I hope you will look. I hope you will amplify their faces, their voices, and not only theirs. But when Rachel and Jonathan walked into the room, Rena was sitting to my left, I was facilitating the conversation, and then Rachel and Jonathan sat to my right. And the crackling energy between these generations, and they understood each other in a way that no one should understand each other. And it brought to mind a story, an ancient story. You might have heard the name Serach Bat Asher. She's the biblical Rip Van Winkle, meaning she was Rip Van Winkle before there was a Rip Van Winkle. And Serach Bat Asher is a strange character who we hear her name, which of course makes her incredibly important because the Torah doesn't always remember to tell us our matriarchs' names. But Serach Bat Asher is listed as one of the 70 family members who go down to Egypt, and then hundreds of years later we hear that she leaves Egypt. So the rabbis love this. She must have lived for hundreds of years. And when do we hear about her lifespan? Because she's the only one who remembers where Joseph's bones were buried. And we promised Joseph when he died that we would not leave his bones in Egypt. We would bring him home. We promised him to. And it took Serach Bat Asher's memory, and it takes Rena Quint's memory to remind us in this moment what it is to keep a promise. Am Yisrael Chai is not just a gorgeous song. It's an anthem and a promise. So I want to share with you, just in closing, and it's not closing because there's no ribbon to tie this in. There's no way to sum up this moment. There's no way to express enough gratitude nor enough anguish. There's just no way. But we had moments in history, and those who have studied Jewish history know this already. What was the way, what was the posture that we took when it came to the hard moments of Jewish history? I grew up singing a song. You might have too. When things were bad, and I'm an Ashkenazi Jew, even when they aren't bad. If I were Sephardi, I would know how to find the joy faster. But whenever things were bad, we would sit in community and sing, Ani Ma'amin, B'emunah Shelema. I believe with full faith in the coming of the Messiah, Af al pi sheyitmameh achakelo. Though he may tarry, I will wait for him. You know what Zionism is? A rejection of the religious approach, the posture that says, I'll wait for God to send a Messiah for things to get better. Zionism said, enough of that. So I'm asking you not a rhetorical question. I'm asking you to activate your heart with power, with strength, with resolve, and with determination that we inherited just as much as any epigenetic trauma that might be in our bones. You have power surging in you. Are you willing to wait for someone else to tell you things are going to get better? Or have we learned our lesson through the vagaries of Jewish history enough to say, I'm not waiting for somebody else? Self-determination is every people's right, ours too. Because what we have been really good at is channeling the best parts of justice in our tradition to fight for every vulnerable population. Thank God for that work. Thank God for the soul of what it is to be a Jew in the world. Who have we not always championed as loudly? Our family. We're afraid of being accused of tribalism, or we don't like the way it sounds in our mouth to say such a thing. But this is really the last thing I'll say as a word before we sing again. But Elie Wiesel, when he was a professor at Boston University, was asked by a student of his, Professor, there are 2 marches on Sunday. There's a march in solidarity with Soviet Jewry, and there's a march anti-apartheid in South Africa taking place on Sunday. Which one should I go to? And Elie Wiesel said, both, of course. But here's why you have to go to the march in solidarity with Soviet Jewry. And I'm saying this to us, really not you, I'm saying this to us. If you don't go to the march in solidarity with Soviet Jewry, if you don't somehow find a way to get on a plane next week as the Federation of Delaware to go stand with our sisters and brothers, no matter how expensive it is and how scared you might feel. Who will? Who's going to show up and remind our sisters and brothers and women who are just swimming, who can't imagine anyone's praying for them, and children who haven't gone home yet? Who's going to tell them that they're not alone, if not you, if not we? Do we know what the future is? No. But are we done letting others tell us what our future's supposed to be? Yes. May our people be strong, starting in this room. May our people begin the process of healing, which we are barely beginning. May the kindergarten classrooms in Sderot that have been repainted through grants from the Federation system be full of laughing children someday soon. Peace feels like it's too far away, but may we get to a better day that is on that trajectory once more. May this Shabbos be an inspiration for the work we're going to do on Sunday, for the strength that we show our community and through our community to our family and through our family to the world. May we remember who we are, what we've been through, and the decisions we made to do it differently, because our ancestors are watching, and so are our children. May we show them who we want them to be by not waiting for them to be it. Shabbat Shalom. Okay, let's take a breath. So speaking of children, 22 years ago, I wrote this song for our children. You might have been there. You were there. Oh my God, it's so good to see you. So if you know the song, please sing, and if you don't, please sing. It's 3 Hebrew words, Olam Chesed Yibaneh. This world is in deep and dire need of rebuilding, and the good news is we have the capacity to do it. We just have to remember we've got that strength waiting to be expressed. And if we do it, who knows what might happen? Da da na 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 na. Da da na 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 na. Let's hear you. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Ya na 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 na. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Ya na 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 na. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Ya na 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 na. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Ya na 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 na. Olam Chesed, everyone. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Ya na 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 na. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Ya na 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 na. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Ya na na na. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Ya na na na. I will build this world. I will build this world from love. Ya na na na. You must build this world. this world from love. And if we build this world from love, then God will build this world from love. Let's hear you. Olam Chesed. Olam Chesed.
May the words of our prophets, that the day will come when God will be one and his name will be one. All humanity will be one and the whole world will be one, and sing together. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz. Bayom mahu, Yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah. V'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayedecho beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam omea maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. Yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudusha b'richum. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechamata. Ta'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. We call upon Rabbi Grumbacher to give the closing benediction.
Adonai Ozi Amo Yitain, Adonai Yivarechet Amo Vashalom. May God grant strength unto our people, and may God grant our people here tonight, our brothers and sisters in this country, our students in universities in this country, the people of Israel, the hostages' family, the soldiers, the innocent people of Gaza, the people of Ukraine, and the people all over the world, with the most precious gift of all, the blessing of peace. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Eloheinu melech olam, moreh peri hagafen, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'yavahu b'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lemahaseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehila lemikra hekodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim kivanu b'charta v'yotanu kidashta mikol ha'olim v'shabbat kodshecha v'yavahu b'ratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashavat. Amen.
If you haven't already signed up to volunteer for Super Sunday, this Sunday from 9 to 1, it is, as Seth said, our single most important fundraiser of the year. And we count on not only you calling, but you also doing your share. And as my good friend Barbara Schoenberg would say, $18 increases, $180 increases. Ask for the increase, give the increase. This year more than ever, we need it. We need it here, we need it abroad, and we need it in Israel. And so with that, I also want to tell you that for the agency or organization that has the highest turnout of volunteers, as you walk out on your way to those yummy, yummy desserts, there is a huge trophy. And that trophy will stay in your organization if you're the one that wins it for an entire year. A plaque will be put on it and your name will be memorialized forever. And then year after year, that trophy will travel, God willing, from agency to agency and organization to organization. On top of that, if you come to make these calls, we have phenomenal baskets that have been put together. It will not cost you a penny. It's by your calls and participation that you may win. So we're doing everything to create the ruach and the spirit behind what it means to have a Super Sunday, what it means to be able to give and to ask others. We're not asking for ourselves, we're asking for our communities. So with that, I wish you all a beautiful, joyful, healthy, happy Shabbos, and thank you for being here with us this evening. Shabbat Shalom.